Okay, this is what we're going to be making today, this beautiful smoked salmon pizza, and I'm telling you, this is the best pizza that I've ever made. The flavours are just unbelievable. Let's get cooking. Right, so let's start with the base. Firstly, 150 mils of warm water. Then 1 teaspoon of caster sugar, and I'm using baker's yeast here, which requires 2.5 teaspoons. If you're just using active yeast granules, then you want 1 heaped teaspoon, or about 5 to 7 grams. And then mix this all up and then leave it for 10 minutes to start foaming. We'll come back then. Right, while our yeast is proving there, we'll measure out 250 grams of high protein flour. So we want protein levels around about 11.5 to 12%. It's 200. This last 50 grams are proving elusive. Right, got there. Now we'll add to this half a teaspoon of salt as well. So I'll just grinding that, so half a teaspoon of salt. Mix that in with your flour thoroughly, and then I'll come back when we're going to combine all of this. Well, hopefully you can see that. That's well and truly got going. So we're going to pour that into our bread bin, which is from my bread maker. There we go. Stir it up a bit. And then in we go with that, and now we'll add our 2 tablespoons of rice bran oil. 1, 2. Right, now I'm going to put this into the bread maker, and I'm going to set it on pizza dough, which takes about 45 minutes, but for you guys it'll be like that. Right, my dough has been out of the bread maker for only about 2 minutes. What we're going to do is just halve it, because we're going to make a thin crust pizza today, and my decision is based around the fact that none of the ingredients or the toppings in this pizza are particularly strong. They're all quite subtle, so I don't want too much dough interfering with those flavours. We're going to now stretch this out to the size of our pie dish or our pizza dish. Right, I'm going to use a rolling pin, and we'll just see what happens to this. So it's springing back. So what we're going to do, I think if we twirl it, I'm not up to that, so I know you'd like to see me doing that. We'll just get what we can out of it, but I think we're going to have to leave it for another 5 or 10 minutes at least. Oh, it's actually, I'm actually getting some progress here. I'll get our pizza dish and I'll spray this with some oil. Right. And then stretch this out. That's worked out really, really well actually. Beautiful. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to leave this for at least half an hour, 3/4 of an hour. I'll cover it with a damp cloth. It's a warm day. I suspect it's probably around about 28 to 30 degrees in my kitchen. So that should give us our second proofing. By then I will have cherry tomatoes, black olives, red onions, cheese and smoked salmon ready to put on as toppings. Right, we've got all our ingredients ready. All I need to do is get the pizza base out and some tomato paste to put on the base, and then we can add our toppings: smoked salmon, cheese, black olives, cherry tomatoes halved and some red onion. Okay, back in a minute. Alright, we've managed to get a bit more height on our pizza, so just get some of this tomato paste on here. This is definitely the most effective way of spreading sauces, using the back of a spoon. So I wouldn't exactly call it a kitchen hack, but it's I don't use any other method now. This is perfect. You get a nice even spread. The best thing is it doesn't disturb the surface of what you're spreading onto either. Okay. Now with our cheese, beautiful. Ooh. Oh, by the way, you should have your oven preheated 190 degrees and the tray in the middle of the oven. I don't use a pizza stone, I use a tray so that I get lots of heat, enough heat from underneath, so you get a nice brown base as well. Okay, let's get some red onion on here. You don't want so much so that it tastes like a cheese and onion sandwich or something like that, but you want enough to provide some contrast. There we are. That's beautiful. Cherry tomatoes, oh, tell you what, each winter I wait and wait and wait for cherry tomatoes. to come during summer. They seem to have sweeter varieties available now, and they make a great snack too. If you're watching a movie, just get a punnet of cherry tomatoes and start munching on those. Right, black olives. Yum yum. Absolutely yum yum. And the last thing that I'll put on will be the smoked salmon, but I will put on our seasonings. So a little bit of salt, not too much, because there'll be salt from the brine on the olives, and there'll be salt in the cheese as well, so you won't need much. There we are. That's all the salt we're going to need. A little bit of black pepper. I always have my black pepper grinder set on super fine. As you can see, it's just a dusting that you're getting. Right, I'm going to get the smoked salmon ready, and that'll be the last thing we put on, and then it's into the oven. Right, I'm going to get the smoked salmon ready, and that'll be the last thing to be going on, and then it's into the oven. Right, I've got the smoked salmon out now, and you're just going to tear it really, and then just layer it on your pizza. It's fiddly stuff to deal with. It's almost one of those things I don't film. If things are fiddly or they look like they might go wrong at any moment, I used to not film them. That's how bad it used to be. I used to just not film them, not deal with it. Now I do film it, and it does go wrong. And I found that it's actually not that bad. You know, it just means that I'm human like everyone else. There we are. This is a 100-gram packet of smoked salmon. If I get a 200-gram packet, there would still only be 100 grams going on here. There we are. I'm going to put it in to the oven now. 10 to 12 minutes is all it's going to need, and then it'll be the best time of the video, tasting. Okay, that is what our pizza looks like straight out of the oven. So I'm going to get my pizza wheel out. We'll get a section of this onto a plate and we'll have a taste. Right, let's have a taste. If I get that with a bit of salmon. Still the best pizza ever. If you want a pizza that's just going to absolutely amaze you every time, this is the one to make, believe me. Okay, thank you very, very much for watching, and I hope you make this at home, and I'll catch you on my next recipe.